going on, everyone? Waltz here for a quick update on the Pro League Season 0. It's just me this time. It's going to be a short and sweet episode as Rio is currently unavailable this week, and I wanted to just get a quick kind of recap on everything that's been happening over the past 10 days. Split 1 has ended. That's playdates 1 through 4. And over the past 10 days, we did have that break week, so teams have had the chance to rest, recuperate, and shake up their rosters a little bit. We've had some major changes in some of the regions, and I want to just do a quick recap on exactly everything that's happened and let you guys know what to expect moving forward in the Pro League. So let's get right to it. We will be doing a more in-depth recap with Rio in a future episode. We'll be going over everything we've seen over the Pro League so far and all the meta shifts and changes and surprises that we've had, but that will be coming in the future. So for now, let's just jump into a quick overview of everything that's been happening. Starting off with the EU region, let's take a look at our initial 12 teams that we had here at the beginning of the season. So have those here to the side. I've highlighted in black all the teams that qualified through our open qualifiers, and then highlighted in white are the teams that did not directly qualify, but did make it far enough in the open qualifiers to be selected as teams to substitute when we had a couple teams unable to play before the season started. So overall, a bunch of teams that did end up kind of coming through qualifying wise, so a lot of chances for teams to do well, but you'll notice that out of the top 5, 3 of the top 5 teams are still invited teams. So the invited teams really proving why they were invited here, and we'll take a deeper look at some of those teams in our future episodes. In terms of our final points, you can obviously see we have a lot of these teams that were qualifying towards the bottom. So did they have a roster shakeup though? Let's take a quick look at the rosters of the EU region. Did anything shake up for the most part? Well, not a lot changing on the EU side of things. We have a couple changes to some subs. Amers picked up Carnifex as a sub, and Saints 1 picked up Treason. So we do have a couple high-profile subs that are in there for those teams. The only major change is actually in Godlike Gamers, currently sitting at 11th place. They did decide to drop aim point, and they brought in actually Best and changed out their sub as well. So a little bit of a change, not a massive one for them, but there is a bit of a change there, and we're going to see if that is going to impact them moving forward. Maybe that's going to help them put some stuff together. In terms of what we can expect moving forward in the next 4 play dates, I expect teams like Saints 1 and Amers Red to continue to be very, very strong. I don't expect we're going to see a lot of changes. Gongala is probably going to continue to be a force of nature in these matches. But if I had to make a prediction, I actually think Zesties are going to have a little bit of a run. I think they're going to do well in the upcoming split, so keep an eye on them. I just have a feeling about it. Let's move over to NA, where there's actually a lot more changes. Let's take a look again at the teams that we started the season with, right over here. And once again, highlighted all the teams that qualified in black. You'll notice as we jump over, though, to the standings as they are right now, there is a notable lack of Burger Boys on this list. You'll see that Oni Legends are there as well. Unfortunately, the Burger Boys were unable to continue playing. They did have to drop out of the event, and Oni Legends came to fill in, and we're going to cover those teams in just a moment. However, I do want to point out something quite interesting. The top 4 teams, or top 4 out of the top 5 teams, are actually qualified teams in the NA region. The only team that was invited that's in the top 5 is After Hours, sitting there, AHS. They are in 3rd place, and Bricked is in a commanding 1st place. So the qualified teams actually doing significantly better overall in North America than they are in EU. I have some theories to this, but you're going to have to wait for the full episode with Rio later to really kind of dive into that one. All right, well, let's look at the rosters and see if anything shook up there. Jumping into the rosters for the NA side, outside of the 2 big ones that we're going to talk about in just a second, there are a couple substitute changes again. Bricked have picked up Sloth as a substitute, and Holthouse Finest have picked up Graduating, so a couple high-profile sub picks up there again. They're going to have a little bit more of a deep roster if they have to sub somebody out, so keep an eye on those players if they do have the chance to play. The big one, of course, is what happened to Burger Boys and who are Oni Legends. So, unfortunately, like I mentioned, Burger Boys unable to continue playing in the league. They had to drop out. You're still going to see Belize, though. Belize has moved over to Scallywags. He's going to be participating on that roster. So he's going to be filling in, and that is now Gremlin, Wallio, and Belize are going to be on the team of Scallywags. hopefully that shakeup and Belize joining on that squad are going to give them the ability to kind of get their feet from underneath them and hopefully fight their way up through the ranks a little bit. They're currently sitting at 11th, as we see there, and hopefully they can find their way back with a few more points in this next split. Oni Legends, on the other hand, are our new team. They do not have they haven't played a number of games that these other teams have. They're kind of coming in fresh. Both Appoh and Pure Strafes have subbed in a couple of times. Appoh subbed in for Scallywags and Pure Strafe subbed in for Blowers once. But they are jumping in with Kip Kip as well. They're a pretty storied stack. They've been around for a while as a stack, and I know Appoh was eager to get to participate when there was a slot, so I could expect some big things from them. They will be participating as that 12th team now as we move into Split 2. As we look forward to Split 2, I think things are going to stick mostly around the same power-wise. I don't think we're going to see too many major shakeups. There's definitely going to be some movement in that middle ground, but on top, I expect Burt to continue to do really well. They've been dominant, and that's probably not going to change anytime soon. However, this is the time for Scallywags to really put something together and find their way up to get out of that, the danger zone. And Oni Legends, coming in so late in the game, are going to have a chip on their shoulder. Hopefully they can hit the ground running and make something happen. If those teams do well, it is going to really shake things up, and we might see a lot of these placements really shift around if things go poorly for the other teams. That's pretty much it for what we have right now. Not a ton of changes, but this is going to give you a quick update on exactly who to watch out for and why you might not be seeing some of the same faces in the Pro League. I'll be dropping links to the Pro Hub website and their Twitch, so make sure to follow along, and we will be having a future episode where we're going to cover all of this in depth with more interviews and discussions future. So stay tuned, of course. That's all for now, and we'll be back very soon on another episode of The Vault. Thanks for watching.